this is going to be a great rematch.
I wasn't happy with how I performed, and I never want to feel like that again in my life.
I'm not looking up to him. I'm looking straight at him. I'm not scared of him.
I'm not looking for a knockout. I'm looking to hurt him.
Misfits Boxing has delivered a couple of rematches in its time that have just caught the attention of everybody involved. The audience, the fans, the fighters. And this one is one that you cannot miss. This is NichLMAO against Jay Swingler 2. He shocked the world the first time. No shocks this time. Nick, welcome back.
Thank you.
This is the fight you've wanted, right?
Yes. Honestly, I was genuinely considering retiring. Not because I don't enjoy it. It is such a fun thing to be part of Misfits, but it is taxing. It is tedious. You have to put in so much work that for me to be willing to do that, it had to be for something just amazing. And I can't think of anything that I'm more excited for than this rematch with Jay. I think the only thing that sucks is because we had Dina and Waleed, but if you really look past that, this is like the greatest rematch Misfits can make right now.
I mean, it's a hell of one. Did you want this from the very first day? I mean, look, you came into that fight and you were supposed to be, in Jay's words, just someone that was keeping him busy, getting him used to the scene, getting him ready for the big fights. He's going to go through you, right? You're just this American guy that's coming over to... You wanted it from then.
I've never been one to shy away from the spotlight or taking on challenges, rather. So even though I lost the first time, I was ready to run. I was ready to run it back immediately. Immediately afterwards, I was ready.
Jay Swingler, welcome back.
Hello, thank you very much.
It's great to see you. Big smile.
Yeah, always smiling, man. Positive guy.
Unfinished business. You came out in an Undertaker-style casket. Listen, he's back. Jay Swingler is back.
Yep.
First and foremost, how does it feel to be back?
It feels exciting. I didn't realise how much I loved doing this until I stopped doing it. I've got a reference of like that high and walking out to all of those people and fighting and the training and how good it is for you. And when that all stopped, I feel like it was a big crash of real realisation that like, no, I need to be doing that kind of thing.
Let's go through the timeline of events that led to the retirement and then ultimately the comeback. So you've beaten Churdleys, you're on a high, there's big fights being talked about, you want a couple more fights, maybe I guess just to really get in the swing of things. NichLMAO comes over and he's the one that you're going to deal with him, then maybe one more and then we go on to X, Y and Z. It's fair to say that was a harder fight than maybe expected. And then a retirement came. Talk to me about your headspace at that particular time.
Let's go to the beginning of training for this Nick fight, where I thought I was able to just walk through him. I was training with this mindset like, oh no, I'm too good for this guy. I don't need to be having any respect for him. I need to be just going in there, knock him out, get it done in my hometown. I walked out that night underprepared for a guy that was willing to lay it all on the line, and I do feel that was the big letdown for that fight. I underestimated my opponent. I'm not going to make any excuses for it. And that's what I think it's about. I think that's what I needed. I needed something to kill my ego, so I'm able to go back to the gym and say to myself, look in the mirror like, you aren't too good for anybody. You need to respect whoever you're fighting. You never know what they can bring. And that was exactly what Nick did. He brought something I wasn't expecting. So my game plan went out the window. And when that did, I didn't have a backup plan because I was relying on, don't worry, I'll knock this guy out. But that's changed now. That's really changed. My mindset in boxing is, I'm planning on hurting this guy this time, and I'm going to be putting the work in to make sure I do that as well.
Why should fans tune in and watch this fight? What's going to happen?
Well, put it to you this way. The first time we fought, Jay didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. We were both technically underprepared, and we still put on a hell of a show. Think about now where we've had almost years to cook on it. this is going to be a great rematch.
It's the kind of fight, I think, where he says, you've been going like this, and for those who can't see my hand, making the downward spiral. You say, well, I've not won in a fight as much as this one. Is this where we see both of you spike up? Because he was sitting here 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago, saying he's got a point to prove. You know, this is what made him come out of retirement. He didn't need to come back, but he had to at this moment. Do we see the spike from both of you here?
I think I'm going to get a different Jay. I think he's going to get a different Nick. In terms of the trend, I would say that styles make fights. Fighting 3 guys on the same night, 2 guys in a tag team match, tagging in, tagging out, is not necessarily my style. And I won the first one. We drew the second one, which I went into not at my 100%. And I think that I was still able to not lose those fights and win. I think it's hard to say it's a downward trajectory. It's just different styles of fights.
What was it like for you? Because I know what it's like to, you know, when fighters, they get the win ultimately, but they're getting hate. Hang on, people are saying that should have been a draw. Jay didn't win that fight. How was it for you reading those comments when you're supposed to be celebrating? You've won.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's harder than you've maybe planned for, but
Yeah.
you've got the win. But there's people throwing shade. How was that to process? Was that maybe a contribution to the decision to retire?
No, not at all. There's nothing that nobody can say online that I wasn't saying to myself before I even went on to X or Instagram or whatever. I went back to my house after that fight because I only lived down the road, and my family turned up and my friends and stuff. And they were all like, oh, you won. Should we get a drink? Order Domino's? I had 1 slice of pizza and I felt sick. I had no appetite. And it was because I wasn't happy with how I performed. And I never want to feel like that again in my life. But that didn't contribute to the retirement in no way. I didn't want to speak about it at the time because I never want to be that guy that's like relying on an excuse. I want people to feel sorry for me. But I basically, in that camp, I tore my ACL. And I didn't realise I tore my ACL at first. My knee was just buckling every time I was doing step-ups or whatever, and I was just falling to the floor, crumbling. And then my coach told me to get an MRI and get an assessed properly. Yeah. So I went and got it assessed, and it came back full rupture in my cruciate ligament, inside my knee. It was insane, bruised bones in my knees, etc. So in that camp, I was on and off training, and it was just not a pleasant mindset either. It was like I had this ego saying, don't worry, you'll kill this guy. But then on the other hand, I had this injury that was just reminding me every day, you can't train today. You can't spar today. Because every time I was sparring on it, one little rotation, I'd just crumble and fall to the floor. I did the tear of the cruciate ligament a couple of years before that. It got better because I went to physio, but I just completely tore it in that camp essentially. So, yeah, it wasn't good, man. No. It wasn't good.
That's an awful injury.
It wasn't good.
What happens for the winner here? Because you both put so much focus on this. I tried to pull it out of Jay before, and he's so focused on you. But I have to ask you the same question because you've done more in the time, right?
Yeah.
What's next for you if you get the win?
Here's the thing. I had this mentality the first time I fought. I'm not fighting to win. Don't get me wrong. I want to win. I'm going to win. I'm going to put in the work to win. I'm here to just have a good time. I'm just here to soak up every second of it. Because opportunities like this is a dream come true for me. Not many people can say they made a dream come true for themselves. And I'm just going to enjoy every moment of it. When I fight Jay, my hope is I beat him. And if he wants to run it back for the trilogy, I'd love that. If not, there's some other people I have my eyes set on.
Go on. Come on, give us one.
Well, I said I'd only ever fight influencers, but Jarvis ain't even a YouTuber anymore, but he got that 155 belt. I do want to go down to that weight, so I think I'd have to call out Jarvis after that. Nothing but respect for the guy, but that will be a tough one.
You're going to see him today.
Jarvis?
Plan on saying anything to him?
Hey, Jarvis, I didn't know I'd see you today. Hopefully we win our fights and we fight again next year. That's probably what I'll say to him.
You see Nick go on to get some good wins, and he's not just this guy to be shoved around, and he's not just this guy who's here to make up the numbers. He's he's actually pretty good. Has that been giving you fuel all this time that we've not seen you in the Misfits space? Have you just been watching, having this as fuel in the shadows, if you like, watching it, thinking, it's coming, enjoy this now, because Jay's coming back?
I like that narrative as much as I would love to say that is what I have been thinking.
Because that, have it, man.
Because that sounds cool as fuck, yeah. But genuinely, I've been so focused on my YouTube again, and I have been watching all the events, and I'm still a fan. Like, to the core of me, I am a fan of all of these guys, these YouTubers, these fighters. So to me, when I see them fighting, it is super exciting for me. With Nick, I feel as if he didn't ever fight the same as he fought against me in his 2 fights that he had in the tag teams and the tournament. Was it like the knockout thing he did? I felt like he didn't improve much at all, and I would love to see the version I got of him again in that first fight he had.
Let's talk about Jay. It's in Qatar. Talk to me about the occasion, because it's the Supercard. It's Misfits boxing at its absolute peak, and there you are. How much does it mean to be on this card?
I think that for me, it's not about the scale of the event in terms of the audience, in terms of the number. It's what it means to me. That fight, me and Jay, our first fight, it is the greatest night of my life. Not many people can pinpoint the greatest night of their life. That is my greatest night, and I think that I don't get affected. I don't care if there's 2 people watching or 20,000 people watching. I am just there to have fun. So in terms of Qatar, it's so much fun. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be another night for me.
I think I'm right saying your pinned tweet is still, "Did I shock the world?"
Yes.
Was that the mentality that inspired you since?
Well, as a fan of influencer boxing, Did I Shock the World is a meme. It's a trend. But honestly, like, watching like KSI Logan 2, everybody I knew was like, dude, you're stupid for thinking KSI is gonna win. You're stupid. And I'm like, he's gonna shock the world. He's gonna shock the world. And he did that. And as a kid, that was really inspirational to see. So even though I was kind of mocking it and making fun of it, it was genuine. Like, I did want to do what he did, and what inspired me to want to do this when I was older. So yeah, I do feel like I shocked the world, and I feel like, if anything, just proving to myself that I can do these things that just feel like a dream is shocking myself. So I'm very excited to be able to do that.
Could you just try and explain to me, or try and paint me a picture, if you would, I guess, the scale of the sense of relief that is coming your way if you get the win in Qatar? How is that going to feel?
Well, that's all I can think about. I don't even know if relief is the word. I feel like that is everything to me right now. Like, nothing means as much as getting that win. Like, I visualize it. I go to sleep at night thinking of combinations that I can just visualize in that ring, seeing the crowd, seeing me walking out. I can see him getting stopped. I can see a referee jumping in, waving his arm. These are the things I see in my head every night before I'm sleeping. So for that to come to fruition, like, it makes me smile thinking about it, because that is all I want, genuinely.
I can tell from speaking to you, the smile is there, the personality is there, but underneath there is this relentless, like, no fun and games this time. It's all nice and friendly doing this, but we're not betting cars, we're not putting things on the line.
Oh no,
this is redemption now.
Yes, it is very much so. And
even though you won, which is crazy.
I know I won, but my biggest critic has always been me. And I've even had to go to the lengths of speaking to sports psychologists about this, because I've always been my biggest critic in no matter what I do. And if I'm not happy with something, it's not good enough. There's so many things in my life where people say, oh, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of you. And I hate people telling me they're proud of me, because it never fills that gap that I feel I can fill with just the work and my results, if that makes sense. So I'm going to kill this dude, man.
Is it that personal? I know he's a nice guy, but now we're here.
We're here to fight. I'll shake his hand. I like the guy. I genuinely think he's lovely. But it's time for me to make the switch now and understand that this guy is going to hurt me if I don't hurt him. He'll take this away from me if he could.
This
I
is
need
a
to
demon you need to bury.
Yes, 100%.
Just finally, Nick, you've come face to face with Jay already today a couple of times, and you're going to do the same again later today at a press conference.
Yeah.
How have you been seeing? Is this the first time you've seen him in person since the fight?
I seen him
With
in
the exception
Dublin.
of Dublin.
Yeah, I seen him in Dublin, but otherwise, no, I haven't seen him. He looks good. He looks focused, but it's funny. It's almost like the first fight. I sat there and I kind of looked at him like this, and now I just feel like there's an air. There's a level of more mutual respect now. I'm not looking up to him. I'm looking straight at him, and I feel him, and I'm not scared of him. The first time, I was terrified. This time he doesn't have that edge on me. This time I'm going to go there, and I am going to have fun.
And in the Qatar Supercard, you're going to be looking down on it come the end of the night?
I would never look down on someone, but if he happens to be laying on the ground, I would physically have to look down at him. Yes.
You knew that's where I was going.
Yeah.
What kind of Jay do we see on fight night?
We see a technical version of Jay, not somebody who's going for a knockout chasing this guy down. We see somebody who's going to clinically outbox him, and I'm going to make sure I put in all the work throughout this camp to make sure I pull it off as well. I'm not looking for a knockout. I'm looking to hurt him.
This might be the fight I'm looking forward to most on the card. I think there is so much on the line. Jay, we cannot wait to see you back in the ring.
Yep.
I think you've well explained why you're coming back, why you made this decision, why you took the time away in the first place.
Yeah.
But it comes full circle. In Qatar, of all places, what a stage.
I'm so excited. But before I got here, I was even Googling the stadium we're fighting at. I cannot wait. It's going to be a spectacle. I cannot wait to see what's announced on this card.
No retirements after this one?
No retirements after. Oh, I'm here to stay, baby. Let's go.
Jay Swingler, congratulations.
Yeah.
Well done for coming back. We can't wait.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.